Good morning. Okay. What is Mr. McGraw saying to me? 4150 and 4100 big strikes. 4150 has put and call could be sticky magnet, like a pinning. 4150. All right. So usually, let me go to SPY first. See, it was up here and started its move down, and some GDP number was out. I guess maybe I didn't listen to the whole commentary more. I would assume more recession coming, whatever, that nobody wants to pay attention to. All right. Yeah, so like a pin, I get what you're saying, that it's going to stick around there, which this has been our expectation for the last couple of days, that the markets were going to slow in momentum and basically hang in this area. That's what has occurred. And so now we see they were up near this red bar and they got rejected back down again. Now you'll see that on the futures. And clearly this opening up here is going to open up a little higher. Maybe, I don't know if it'll retest the highs or not, but what I was thinking, like if you look at the futures and it's got that topping tail that rejects, that left screen, please. This is, I'm going to remove it in a minute. It's just so to see the options. So we get to SPX. McGraw saying 4150-ish, could be pinning it, but and so there's the futures where it popped up and it got rejected off of the 20 MA, getting pushed back down again. So, all right, so we see where this is near the top of those bars there, and going to SPX. All right. So what I have written down is up above, since this is trying to make a turn here, that was our expectation over the last couple of days, that it came down here. The angle of retracement was steep, bearish. The depth of retracement was bearish. The speed at which went down was bearish. And now it has a potential to pop back up and retrace to where? At the top of the bar, into this unfilled gap, whatever. 2 days of hanging here, building a base, which I'll show you right down there. You got your base building up right in that area to the left. And so maybe it can move up a little bit today. We already know that it got rejected, and that's going to put a reference point from pre-market. That'll get sold into, that used as a reference point. Let me go back here again so you can see. I don't have that on 24 hours, but the cursor will be there. So you can see it's right up here at 418 and below, right where it fell from. So SPX doesn't update, so that's why we do that, right? So it would get rejected if it came up here near 4,200. Of course, can it do that? Can it get up there, since now it's gotten rejected back down again? Let me go back here one more time. And okay, so it's at the top of the range here, this little bottoming action, and it's at the top of the range starting out, assuming that's where it is in the next 20 minutes. So bottoming action down here, unless it immediately breaks lower, it has the potential to move up into this void above. So initially, if I look here, I say, well, based on that and where it was rejected from, I don't think it'll get above that. However, if it can get moving up to this area, 4210 is 70 by 80, maybe 42. If it goes up there, these numbers are going to increase. So I would want to be up above somewhere in here, above 4,200. The more, the better. Right. So which way does it get going at the open? You got to keep an eye on that. If it can go up into 10 o'clock, if it can start a rally, why would I think that even after the rejection? Because it's going to open up here, right? Give or take. Now, down below, well, I'd want to be below this number still, and that's relatively close. Last I looked, there was no premium down there. Yeah. Well, 41 is close. I hear what you're saying. So, I mean, this is the biggest support area. 4,100. You can see the little numbers on my cursor. That could be hit. That could be hit easy. You know, if it broke these lows, that would be a bunt. Now, I would be watching it to see how it starts to fall, because remember, McGraw, this thing's gone sideways for a couple of days and done because of a belief that it, like I spoke about early in the week, right? Pulling back into an area where buyers should step up. Now, if that fails, those buyers that are holding here are going to turn into sellers, and that could push down here pretty good. Sideways until Powell speaks. Well, okay, that's a reasonable assumption, but you know what? If it starts to break these lows, do you think those that are holding losses are going to say, "Oh, I'm going to wait for Mr. Powell to speak to see if he saves the day"? No, they're going to hit the bid. So maybe as long as it stays chopping around, that's one thing. But if it starts to break, everyone's going to be like, "F Powell, I'm getting the hell out of here." So yeah, we'll see. Yes, yesterday's low was always our first reference point of support. So, I'd want to be below down there, ideally down here. So if it starts some movement to the downside, look for something lower, and up above here, the premiums will drop, but we can get down below 4,200, and that'll work. But I want to see which way this thing's going to go early on here, since it's basically starting the day out here, but from the gap, if it holds the gap, a little bit bullish because it's been basing here for a while. And if it does start moving up, if you got that premium closer, then yeah, I just don't think it'll go that high. But I do respect the fact of this pattern, and that if it starts moving up, it's got a void. So I don't want to get close to it. That's for sure. So again, we've got this base, and it's right here. So, let's assume that the market's never closed, and this had a wide range bar, or for whatever reasons, think about it, it's got a minor gap up. And if it can hold that minor gap up for a short, even if it's 15 minutes, that might encourage buyers to start stepping up and pushing it higher. And then we'll use the regular things that we keep an eye on, do financials. Financials yesterday started the day weaker, and then they held their ground, and that helped, and things just became neutralized again, and things went nowhere. So I'm not looking at any of those right now, but if we see financials coming out of the blocks and doing well, that's going to help SPX to go up. And of course, if they're weaker and doing poorly. And then oil was kind of like all over the place, the oil stock. So it's been whippy. All right. Same story here. Futures try to make the turn. Right at the beginning of the week, we talked about potential head and shoulders, this holding here, same kind of rally. So, this can continue to move up, maybe get close to the 20 and start to roll here. I think that sets up, Mr. Powell, whatever's going to come out of his mouth technically is not going to be good. Right? The market sets up that pattern. Right? It's going to be saying, if he says one bad blip, it's going to be right shoulder and down you go. So, the weekly charts already started its pullback. Doesn't have to pull back, in a more direct kind of a way. But, today's Thursday, you got Friday, it could hang up here and then down we go. All right. Any difference in the other markets? This is getting rejected already. So tech seems to be, leading to the upside, right? So and NVIDIA, last I looked last night, that was getting shellacked. That was so funny. I saw some girl being interviewed on one of the channels last night, and she's like, "Well, you know what? I'm long, from up here, and whatever it'll be, okay. Where's it now? Well, it's coming off of the low a bit, but last night it was down there. Well, that doesn't look good. That's an institutional favorite. Breaking below these lows. Semis, they've been leaning. That's not good for tech, but something's holding up. Russell, moving up there a little bit. There's the rejection. Bitcoin was green earlier. The market wants to go down. We're coming into September and all of that. Crude oil, now up at the pivot. Let's see, what it'll do here. Up at some significant resistance. I'm trying to bottom out. And when something comes down like that, creates that void, just again, the angle of retracement, the depth of retracement, it gets short-term extended. And after a few days, and it can't bounce, and then when it does, you get a rejection bar. It breaks low and should go down. Gold acting a little better than silver, but with the dollar, which has been moving up, I guess that's extended and it's at resistance. So maybe gold has a chance for a little bounce here, since this is up there. But look, the depth of retracement, the inverse relationship, you can see it right there. Speed, the depth of retracement. Euro, right under one, getting rejected. Hey, take your dollars and go somewhere. You're going to get more for your money. All righty. VIX just flip-flopping around here. Nothing going on there yet. Market's not doing anything. And transport, same story. Deep drop angle of retracement. We'll see if it starts to roll. So now we go into another day. What is today the day to move? And so, I titled YouTube, "Today is the last chance," right? Meaning their last chance to get some kind of a rally going, and against this down move. And if it doesn't do it, that's going to open up the door to lower. So that's it. All yours, Dan. Boring these mornings, so I don't have too much to say other than the obvious.
Good morning. Yeah, I mentioned in the nightly video that the spiders 2 days in a row got rejected. If we traded under yesterday's low, I was full-blown bearish short-term spiders and Qs. Look at that price void deep into support, and so I'm still feel that way. We're gapping up $2. And I even said that, yes, like I even said that in the video, that if we gap up and take it out, it'll be even better, because then there'll be a gap up and range expansion. And these two were the best of the four horsemen. I reviewed them. All right, we did two official earnings short puts, snow. Nice blast off here. We did I forget something, 115 or something way the heck down here. So just bid a penny to get out on that one. Dollar Tree, you know, in retrospect, I wish I actually did a condor on this or a short strangle. Because I said when we went into this, it looks lower. But I was making the bet that any gap down is not going to be catastrophic. So we shorted the 135s. It's gapping above the 200. So with 98% certainty, we're going to have an open gain despite this big gap against us because it expires tomorrow and it's still $17 out of the money. I did a couple others myself. Keep an eye on them. Oh, TCOM, we had a gap up here. I said sell a third pre-market. I did that before the room opened. And that's the benefit of you all getting our telegrams. You know, we give them to you here as a courtesy, but you sure can miss a lot of stuff. So yeah, something's like a cell plug ripping. So something's going on in the battery space. I mean, that's a big move right there. $5 move in one bar. So if somebody wants to help out scanning the whole sector. So FCell went with us. Frey though was gapping up. So that one's going to be harder to get on board. K-Web, Chinese stocks are holding well. They had a nice gap reversal yesterday, and now they're gapping up again. This looks like a no-brainer put spread for next week. Let's keep an eye on that. Stavros is asking about when does Powell talk? I don't know. Well, here's what I know. The meeting starts today. CNBC announced that he's going to speak after the market on Friday. But I thought somebody in the green room said on Friday it's going to be televised on the internet. And so I don't know. I don't have a good answer. Billy, nice gap here. This is, I guess, part of the K-Web. This is a put spread idea for next week too. Tesla gapping up on the stock split to yesterday's high, 30-minute high. Let's do a put spread for tomorrow. Cab L, I just saw ripping for some reason. Nice bottoming pattern. Target maybe 2.25-ish. Zuo had earnings, bearish gap, but no great pattern. Ride, some type of news, I think, with, I don't know, but there's no pattern. Like GES had earnings. I can't tell where it's gapping and no great pattern. I know ANF's getting killed in the retail sector. $16, wow. Now, when we were looking at candidates, that because of JWN kind of got creamed yesterday. That's why I was not interested in any more of these like tier two retailers. I mean, I did the Dollar Tree. I'm in that one. I tried doing Dollar General and I did not get filled. I thought I was in it. And I forget what number I was trying to do. Probably the 200s would be my guess. Cruise ships, look at RCL gapping up. No great pattern, but cruise ships and jets, we're getting a little bit of a bid here the last couple of days. Pull back to the 50. Talking about the 50, a bunch of the ARC ladies had pullbacks and are turning at the 50. So let's keep an eye on. I watch 1, 2, 3. I watch 5 of them. ARC FGKQW. All of them, just various degrees. Look like they want to continue bouncing here a little bit. PULM. I don't know, that looks like a penny stock toy. Carvana. A deep retracement here, but 30-minute high and put spread idea for tomorrow. Yeah, there's Tesla we talked about, Figs. Another one, deep retracement at the 50. It needs to settle down, and it's all over the place pre-market. Visco gapping down on, I don't know if it's earnings or not. Halliburton, we're in from yesterday. Long stock and short puts, OIH. We're naked puts and also long ETF, FCX. It was on my long list. Today's Thursday over Tuesday's high, and then I canceled it yesterday. Let's put it back on my list, maybe 30-minute high. A number of commodities were acting bullish today. That's like Charlie Foxtrot, I saw gapping up. PDD 57, gap's too big. Uber, another deep retracement, but making the turn. Lennar, relative weakness today, gapping. All right, so that's maybe 30-minute low watch. Hims, another one, deep retracement, making the turn. Oh, TDOC and Hims, that's why I'm looking at these, because Amazon is going out of their teledoc type of business, whatever. And so that's why CNBC was showing these. They're happy to get Amazon off their back. There's no liquid volume here, but I like TD as a put spread here. 65s are juicy, but we'll come back to you. YI, you're garbage, you're gone. Titan, $33, no pattern. Hib, no pattern. That was a failed buy setup. Shoe Carnival, no pattern. No interest, but we'll come back to you. I don't like the way this trades, all the overlapping bars and no patterns, sell setup, weekly, ANF getting killed, YSG. It could be the start. It could be the start of a big long pullback and turn, but I have no interest. I have no patience, rather, because of the patterns not good enough for me to want to get on board. Malibu, not much volume, but it looks like there's a couple prints up there. We'll come back. Throw gapping up, but extended. Pro is in the oil sector. Pain gapping down 2381. That's a bear call credit spread watch. Goggle. 30-minute high, maybe. Big bottoming pattern here. We'll see what happens at 10. Minso 650. It's a bottoming pattern, but again, it's not good enough to want to take my attention. And Charlie Delta, we'll come back. Piton, you know, when I saw the news yesterday that they announced that they're going to be selling on Amazon a day before earnings, they made that announcement. Yeah, my initial thought was they're probably going to announce bad earnings because they wanted to get some good news out to downplay the expected bad news. Just because that's how I think. And that thinking is based on experience too. So Piton, I have no interest. I shorted some 10s, but I think if I shorted them for 20 cents, with 99% confidence, I'm gonna have an open profit. Cody's a big sideways mess. YM 740, no pattern. Burrow's a big ugly gap. 142. I don't know what that, there's no pattern. We just need to come back and see what it looks like. Grab. We'll come back. Dollar Tree we know about. No, it just took a little another dive there. Charlie Mike, no pattern. And Dollar General we know about. Pack H. All right, these were earnings last night after the bell. So the video. That's a call spread idea. That's a 1 DTE call spread, maybe 10-minute low. Cream, I'm gonna watch just because it's a Wall Street favorite to see where buyers step up. And you see here right into the open, they are stepping up. But that's not a good location of a gap. Shoot. I was hoping it would sell off more, you know, closer to 160. And then I'd be all over that. All right, snow we know about. That's I'm bidding 1 penny to get it out. I didn't hear any bells, so it's probably. It's going to take a few minutes just for the options to. They're also 0 by 5, so we're not going to get filled at a penny. Shoots. I mean, if you wanted to protect your profits, you would buy the 150s for a nickel, and then that would give you a free put spread. You know how we do that sometimes. Halliburton up alarm. All right, Dollar Tree. All right, I just closed mine for 40 cents just because of uncertainty.